been given to us as a language, but really what's being described is energies that belong to a certain bloodline, DNA group
Yes.
of people.
Yes, of course. You
Okay.
see, we use the word God. And to my own understanding, according to what the energy taught me, and I found out to be true, is not belief. The word God was formed out of an abusive word, abusive statement. That is what I was told. That according to the Englishman, he find the gods to be very wicked to their people because when they commit, they chastise them to the extent that they can kill them. So they see that God as gorilla of death.
So that's where the God
That
comes
is
from.
where the God came from.
Oh,
You see, so the people who call themselves Jews, who are the Ashkenazi Jews and the other people who conform themselves to that Judaism and say they are the Israelites, they are indeed not. In their own books, that is the book of Tanakh. When you go into the Tanakh, you will see that they are forbidden to mention the word God. Yes, they don't put the G and O D in that book. They only symbolize it with G-D.
I've seen this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the word original name that our ancestors gave to their god was Asem. And when you go into that book, you will see that the Asem they have put in H at first and H after the S. So when you remove the two H, you get the correct pronunciation of the word, which is Asem. That is word. You see, why were they using that word? It was what the clay tablet that our ancestors recorded down referred their energy to. The first man that we all know that he is the father of the nation of Israel was called Bram, but they first made it Abram. Then they saw that Abram is closer to Bram. It's just to remove the A and you get the correct word. So they have to modify it to get loss of the original name. So they said God has changed his name. Where did God change his name? It's man who did the changes and call it God changes. So they make it Abraham. So if you want to know that really there were some people who lived like that, from what tribe and from what nation can we find an ancestral name Abraham? You see, even not in the white race, because you can never find it in a black race, and let's assume that maybe in the white race. Let a white man come and tell me this is their lineage, and therefore they have an ancestral name called Abraham. There's never. So that name was a creative name by those who put down the records in the books. The original name is Bram, even with YWA attached to it. That is Yao. You see, so when you check properly, you will know that, okay, where did these people come from? Who are they? Which people get the name Yao and Bram? Easily it can be traced. Just like I'm giving an instances so that people who are doing research will be very much careful, because the researchers keep on bringing out the correct words and the correct meaning and the correct names, and they say they are researching. Fine, because they have not been given the message divinely, so you can go wrong, because you will still follow the wrong copies of the books, you see. But I am telling you that it's neither here nor there that there was a man from any tribe that his name is Abraham. The man's name originally is Yao Bram. And if you come down, I can take you to the language he spoke directly, because we are still speaking it. The language that they say is an Aramaic. There's difference between Arabic and Aramaic. And that word Aramaic is originally called Okre. Okre, one of the Guan's language, and it's here on the mountain. I can take you there. to hear your language. So that man whose name was Bram, that people call him Abraham, when the energy started speaking to him, he did not see any creature, but he only hear voices speaking to him. So in his own dialect, he will tell people that the word has come again. And the word he used in his own language is esse. Then he say esse enebe. That means the word has come again. He don't see any being, but he only hear voices. And when he hear voices speaking to him, all he can say is that the word has come again. Then in his dialect is esse enebe. Esse enebe. That means the word has come again. So that is why when the Akan tree, which is the original official, I won't say original, it's official Hebrew language, recorded it to be Asem. Then when the Greeks took their copy, they said in the beginning was the word, and the word was God. Because in the beginning, as they all know, and diverting it, there was no name, but there was Esse and Asem. Asem means word. Esse also means word. But Esse is Arabic, and Asem is the tree, what is official Hebrew language. So in reality, I would say I speak much about that nation because it is the energy that follows that nation who sent me to go and reveal the people to the world, that this is the people, you are the people. So in most cases, I speak for the nation of Israel and his people. There are other nations, there are many nations, you see, but in most cases, I speak for those people. That is not to say other people are not human beings. They might have their lineage of their history, but I have my own lineage of my history. So that is what has been given to me. And if I will be correctly saying, in the books that has been written, that we all read, we say Quran, we say Bible, we say this, we say that. Most of the prophets that came to this world that has become so much popular, most of them never talked to the whole world. They rather spoke to the nation of Israel. Because anytime they will say, tell the people of Israel. Tell the people of Israel. He did not say, tell the whole world. I am not trying to offend anybody. I am only bringing out the truth. You see, maybe other people may have their own that comes to tell them their own. But this is my own. I speak about my own, that I know much. You see? So this is how it is. That is why I say there are many gods. There are many gods. Just like there are many fathers. So my children will not say, because probably I am poor, they want to follow your father who is a rich man. They can go and follow him and serve them as a slave. But they can't they can't have any inheritance from that father except what I have. That is why it is very much important for each and everyone to trace his own roots and know where you belong. Yeah.
Nana, you've also made mention about clay tablets. So it brings a question to mind about, are you referring to the clay tablets that they say come from Mesopotamia and places like this?
Yes, you see, clay tablets are all over the world.
Okay.
It is not only because in those days there were no paper, but the people have mind to leave a record down for their descendants to come and know exactly what took place or who they were. So clay tablets were all over the world. So when you go into your own clay tablets and you find your culture, your names, then you know you belong here. Because names and words are very much important in research. You can have a name being corrupted that will lead you nowhere because you will never understand the word. Unless probably the one who wrote that book is telling you the meaning, and it could be wrong. You see, because those who wrote all those books, most of them are not the right people. Most of them does not belong to where the language comes from. So most of them doesn't understand some of the phrases. Neither do they also understand the statement or the words. So they tend to interpret it to suit their own. And that is where the problem is coming from.
Okay.
Because I quite remember when I was in Europe, I was watching television, and there were three great white people who called themselves gurus, that they know the scripture very well. And they were trying to understand the meaning of a word. And that word was ku, K-U-U, ku. So out of the three, I saw the first one saying ku means circle. Then the other one say no, it means round. Then the other last one means, it says hollow. I was just watching the television quietly. I say, the man who says hollow is the one who is bringing the correct meaning of the word. But how can they know? Because I am not in the television.
Right.
I am only viewing the television.
Right.
But it is my language, so I can know who has correctly mentioned the word.
Of course.
But unfortunately, I am not there to let them know that this one is correct. You see? So we let it go.
Okay.
So they will go and decide what they will choose.
Okay.
And if they couldn't choose properly, then it becomes problem.
Okay.
You see? So I found out to know that this was what actually happened when they were compiling books for people, because they don't understand the language. But the most pathetic part